So today we're gonna make cinnamon rolls from scratch, and then we're going to be taking care of our sourdough that we have maybe decided on a name of Frodo.
Bob or Frodo?
Oh, I thought it was Frodo the Brodo.
Frodo the Brodo or Bob?
I think just Frodo's.
So we're gonna start first with activating our yeast for the cinnamon rolls. You're gonna take 2 teaspoons and a quarter and put it in a bowl on your KitchenAid.
I can't remember which one it is. Is it salt that starts it, or is it milk, or is it butter?
Sugar and warm milk. So,
Sugar, not salt.
and then you're gonna warm your milk up to about 110 degrees, no hotter, because then you'll kill the yeast because it's a living thing. Do you want to stick that in the microwave for like 30 seconds?
If you don't know, I don't know. What did it?
And then you're wanting to give it some sugar. You can buy yeast that's already active in some recipes, but I never do
It's way funny
because
what you
it's
did
cheaper.
this way.
Well, yeah, it's cheaper too just to buy a big old bottle.
I love to see it just like rise.
Probably feel some sense of accomplishment making your own baby yeast
Well,
for sourdough starter.
if you don't activate it, you're not gonna have fluffy dough. And so if you just throw it all in and you don't give it time to activate it and come alive,
Is it
you'll mess up your whole recipe.
Is it edible unactive?
Yeah,
If you-
it's just it won't. We'll grab it by the handle. So then we're gonna check the temperature. Put it in there for like, it's at 104. I want it a little bit warmer. Put it in there for like 5 seconds.
It felt pretty cold.
But make sure you're using the handle and not grabbing the cup because I don't want you to get burnt. And the handle's meant to protect you. Yeah, that's close enough. So now we are going to put it in our mixer with the sugar and the yeast. And then give it a little stir just to get the yeast moist.
It looks like little baby shrimp. Like I've seen little shrimp eggs. That's what they look like.
Oh, I was like, what kind of shrimp are you eating? That looks like that. And then you cover it with
No,
the towel. You can
just
cover it
like
with
baby
plastic wrap. Whatever. You just want to keep the heat in there and it will start to activate and grow.
Oh yeah, I thought you normally put it in the oven for it to heat up.
That's for proofing the dough. We're activating
yeah.
the yeast right now. So now,
We
this is
feed.
day 2 of our sourdough.
Probably is going to be Frodo.
So we're going to turn it on. Can you see the food scale?
No. Yeah, you can't read the number on it. You can see it. Go to full screen.
Yeah. Can you see the number now?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to make it so it's in grams. So we're going to discard 113 grams, and there should be 113 grams left in the bottle for our day 2. And this is our 100% whole wheat flour mixed with water.
Warm water.
Yeah, because our house is cold, we use warmer water, and it's so sticky and gluten.
Yeah. Very gluten.
Is it good sticky?
This whole process is just sticky, and it gets everywhere.
But it's supposed to be sticky.
Oh, almost perfect. Crud. You suck.
This is close enough.
Whatever. There. 113.
Exactly.
So with this, you're gonna for real discard it. This is not sourdough discard. You can't bake with it. It's trash for real. So don't try to do any sourdough discard recipes with that because it's not sourdough yet. So now what you're going to do is into your original, there should be 113 grams in there. I already pre-measured this out, so we didn't have to, but you're gonna take 113 grams of the King Arthur flour, not the whole wheat, and you are going to put it in here. And this is what's gonna start making it, the sourdough. And the 100% wheat is just a cheat to get it active faster. So we'll have sourdough ready in less than a
We're
week.
pretty much, we're cheaters.
Not really. But it's, a lot of people think that you have to have like your grandma's sourdough starter secret recipe into a secret place. And you have to have like that type of sourdough to have a good sourdough starter, but it's not true. You can do it yourself.
Do you have to put in small amounts at a time? Just wondering.
No, it's just not an easy container to pour from. And I measured it out.
Are sourdoughs like living things?
Sourdough? Yeah, because you're fermenting it. And so it lives, it breathes, it grows. It can grow bacteria, so you want to be mindful that...
It's kind of scary, but yeah.
You want to be really mindful that all of your stuff is clean that you're using, so you're not transferring bacteria into it. So now you're gonna add 113 grams of water. So it's all equal amount, 113, 113, 113.
Not that hard to remember.
And I use warmer water because our house is cold. Oh, I went a little bit over. So I'm gonna add a little bit more because you want it even. I'm gonna add back some of our discard. So if I had 118 now, and I need 113, how many do I need? 5? Good
5
job.
more grams. 5.
It doesn't need to be exact, but in this process, oh my gosh, it's so sticky. In the beginning, I want to be a little closer, just so I'm not robbing it if it's food and growing. It's like a big booger. 5.
Exactly. We're great.
Yeah, and then we're going to do 5 grams of flour too. Because that's what I had before. So you do equal grams of water, flour, and your starter.
So we're just going to keep that bit alive if we need to, or no?
Mm-mm.
So at the end, we're just going to go bye-bye.
Mhm.
That one's Bob.
That's it.
Oh man, there's like nothing from that. There we go.
If you feed your sourdough starter correctly and take good care of it, how long will it live for?
Forever, and you can make it so it is dormant as well. So like if you're going on vacation, you can put it in the fridge.
Didn't we do that once? But did it die?
I forgot it on the counter and stopped taking care of it, and then it grew mold, and that's gross.
And it smelled horrible.
Yeah, so you just gotta make sure that you're taking care of it.
So a sourdough starter is one of the few things that has achieved immortality.
Yeah, because it ferments.
But it needs other people who are not immortal to take care of
But
it.
you can put it in the fridge, and then to activate again, you bring it out on the counters and you start feeding it. And feeding it is just giving it flour. So when you're mixing your starter, you want to make sure that there's no dry flour spots in there or pockets, that everything gets mixed in well. And hopefully by the time we're done mixing all of this up, our yeast will be all bubbly and active. And then we can start adding other ingredients.
Okay, the camera's in.
You good?
sourdough starter for like different tastes?
No, you would do that as your baking thing. So when you make a sourdough bread, you would do inclusions and add stuff or whatever you're using it for. You don't want to introduce anything that isn't flour and water.
So
It will be bad.
you do
Don't
this
overfeed it.
now.
So now
Yeah.
we put its shower cap back on, and I like using disposable shower caps to cover it. Because it needs to breathe and it needs to be loose. If you do the lid too tight, it
can
can
die.
explode.
Because
No.
it doesn't have any air to breathe. It needs at least some.
No, because it creates air and gas bubbles, and so if it's trapped inside and you have a lid, it can explode.
That's why it needs reusable shower cap.
Aha!
Well,
Can you see in the bowl?
it gave to tiny liquid bits.
No, that's not liquid bits, it's foam. So now it's activated in there.
Huh?
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, so that means it's active and it's ready to go. So now we need to add a 1/4 cup of sugar into here. And we're gonna put our dough hook on. And then Connor, I'm gonna need you to melt stuff in the microwave again.
Microwave.
And we're going to do a 1/4 cup of butter.
Like
Yes.
2 minutes?
No.
What?
Not 2 minutes, like 30 seconds as well.
Well, yeah, because your microwave's on.
No.
Okay.
Just 1 second.
So once that's melted, we'll let it cool off for a little bit. We're gonna add the sugar into here, and then an egg plus the egg yolk into it, and you're gonna discard the egg white because you don't need it for anything. And then we always crack our egg into a bowl to make sure it's not bloody. And that looks good. How does the butter look?
Looks like there's a tiny piece of not melted.
That's fine. We don't want it super duper hot.
Like just tiny.
So we're gonna let it cool because if you add butter to too hot of egg, you're gonna cook your eggs in there. And that won't be good.
We don't want scrambled eggs in our cinnamon rolls. But they do go well together.
Get the sugar.
Would you say activating the sourdough starter is the hardest part?
No. I think everything is super easy and that people overcomplicate baking by a lot. Go ahead and add that in.
To this?
Yep.
Okay. So,
A
A
1/4 cup.
a wee bit of a cup.
Mm-hmm. That's really hot. We're gonna add our egg and then we're gonna do the egg yolk in here. And put the white in the purple bowl. Or is that just skunk yolk? But you can just use the shell. You don't need any fancy tools to do this. Just pass it back and forth and
Just wondering why
then I'll shell check to make sure.
why don't you use that? Why didn't you use the whites?
Because the recipe said not to, so I don't.
Okay.
It doesn't need it. Go ahead and raise the KitchenAid.
Other way. Okay.
And go ahead and start it.
It didn't need the love this time.
Let it cool off in there, not in a hot cup. And then while we're waiting, we can measure out the flour that we're gonna dump in there. And I've been trying to do it by metric and weighing stuff out, and this recipe I believe calls for 360 grams of flour.
Nicole has a question. Is this a stainless work surface?
Yeah, I hate it. It's called called, what is it? We put that in the sink, here's the handle. A baker's whatever, and it's so short, and I crush, it's like to my thigh. But it's made so when you're like working with bread, it's the right height to roll it out.
It's just good for me.
But I'm tall.
Being tall has its disadvantages.
Really? I kind of love it. And I have a project for Alex now.
Okay, so it calls for 360 grams of flour.
Like, that's a lot.
It's about 3 cups. So I did pre-make a dough so I could show all the way to rolling them out and shaping them after and making them for their second rise. And I used about 4 tablespoons more of flour making those. Because you gotta do it by the look and the feel of the dough. I don't know if I like the stainless steel. I don't know. We're thinking about redoing it, but I also like the look of the workbenches from like Home Depot. I think it'd be fun in a kitchen. They have the stainless steel. What? Yeah, or a butcher box top, but I feel like that gets gross too.
The yolk's not really breaking.
I know, it will when you put the flour in it. Okay, so I just added salt into the flour because you're going to add that in there too. And everything's in there, so now we're just going to put the flour in there.
Flour.
And it'll make until it becomes a dough.
It's the hardest with those big bowls. You're professional at it.
I've done this a lot. I make cinnamon rolls a lot.
Like, you have so many different recipes for them, like caramel cinnamon rolls, sourdough cinnamon rolls.
And then you're just going to let it mix and it will start to become a dough. Nicole, you must not have kids that put their hand and face on everything if you want stainless look everywhere. It's like this is the long, well, it's not longest, but you mix the dough and it'll start to form into what looks like a dough. And then once it starts to look like a dough, you mix it for like 8 to 10 minutes, and that's how you build the gluten in it.
That is not the color I'd be expecting.
That's because the egg yolks.
Yeah. I guess it'll be like more of a like a bright, like a red color.
Well, it will be.
Does bread
Just the
have a
flour hasn't
definite
all
color?
gone into it. I think. Red.
Yeah, it'll start to pull. And then when it starts to look like this, I'll start knocking the flour down in because this is when it's going to start to really come together fast as a dough.
Pew pew.
Can't wait until my kids reach the stage that they like cleaning up after themselves. We're at the stage where they tell me they clean their bedroom and then we go in and it's all shoved under the dresser in the bed. Do you know who you're talking about? Says
Yeah.
Connor.
Yeah, that's more bready color.
Yeah.
Oh, I just picked up a bone. Like on the wall.
And now this room is
Okay, so now we're gonna clean off this work surface. Go ahead and put that in the sink for me.
And I thought you don't clean. Whoa, you're baking.
Well, it's because we need this work surface. That's why I need you to help me clean it up.
Here's the butter.
And put that in there too.
Okay, then I don't know if you need the water or not.
Don't they say you gotta clean the surface and revolute?
Keep the surface clean.
I don't know, do they?
Can I put these away?
Yep. Go ahead and put that in the sink. So the dough, I can tell already. So it says you want a sticky dough. I don't know how well. So it says you want a sticky dough, and from right now, I can tell I'm going to need to add more flour, even though it still needs to run for a while, just with how sticky and wet that it's looking. It's very sticky, so if you touch it and it sticks like that, it's too sticky.
So how much more flour are you gonna add?
I'm going to add a tablespoon at a time. But since I cheated before, I know that I'll probably end up adding 4 tablespoons. But it all depends too on your elevation, how humid it is where you live.
How sticky
If it's storming,
how sticky is too sticky?
if it sticks to you like that.
Okay.
So this is just the longest part of it, but you can tell already that it's looking more like a dough and less like sticky egg yolk. And this is a good like base dough. It doesn't need to be for cinnamon rolls. You can use this for breadsticks. You can use this dough to make roll-ups for sandwiches or pinwheels, whatever. You can do the monkey bite bread where it's little balls and you put them in a loaf pan and put cinnamon and sugar over it.
I love those, and I also love. But I think we should make some more of this so we can have pinwheels for lunch.
Sounds like you guys have an idea for next episode.
Pinwheels?
But it's just a good, everyone thinks that making bread at home or dough at home is really, really hard and complicated, but it just takes time and patience. But you can see how it's pulling away from the bowl now and sticking together and not sticking to the bowl itself. That's what you're looking for in a dough. So when the recipe says until the dough pulls away from the bowl but it still looks sticky, this is what it's looking for. So this is where you'll mark. If you don't have an electric stand mixer, I'm so sorry, but you will need this with your hands for 8 to 10 minutes. And it will get a tougher consistency because that's the gluten building in it. But since I have a stand mixer, it's going to do all of the work for me.
That sounds so painful
If
doing
you
that.
have to hand mix it, I guarantee you'll come out stronger.
It would hurt so bad. I have arthritis and I can't do that. So as it's mixing, you can add more flour if you can see that it's sticking at the bottom. If it doesn't start to form together as a whole dough, you can continue to add flour. There's not, well, there is a wrong amount, then it becomes too dry, but then if you add too much flour, you can add a little bit of milk or melted butter to even it out. It's not ruined, it's savable. So I think already looking at it, we'll need to add a little bit more flour. And I'm so sorry if the stand mixer is very, very loud.
It is pretty loud.
Well, thanks for the apology.
Or if the camera's just shaking everything. Or the mixer's shaking everything.
Doesn't look like the camera is shaking.
Yeah, that's good.
I look like the bowl is shaking though.
It is.
I think the camera says.
It moves the whole thing. It's not like it's set solid.
Yeah, the camera says.
So once this is done and you've gone to build the gluten, you're going to put it in an oiled bowl and you're going to cover it again with the reusable shower, not reusable, but disposable shower cap. And you're going to let it, it's a first proof, and it's going to first proof for about an hour and a half to 2 hours depending on how warm your area is. If you have an oven that has a proofing mode, you can use that to make sure it's warm the whole time. If think the camera down is frozen. It's not on screen what looks like it. So you can see it's pulling away from the bowl, and that's what we want it to look like. It's kind of still sticky and has a wet look, but it's springing back and bringing gluten. So this is what dough is supposed to look like.
Noted.
And when it says a well-oiled bowl to proof in, you can use olive oil, you can use butter, you can use ham. Just know that some of those oils will flavor your butter, or not your butter, but your bread. I use ham because it's fine for me. And a lot of the times I will just pull the dough out of this and I will spray the pan in here and then put the dough back and put a cap on it. That's almost done, I think.
It smells good.
Like dough.
Yeah, I just like the smell of dough and I like the feeling of dough.
Be mindful though when you're leaning in that your ribbon doesn't get caught on that.
Like, I just take this off when it's that full.
Blood.
Yeah, full.
I'll say that's good enough for this one. So the next step, Connor, will you grab the pan out?
The pan?
The spray
Is it out?
in the pantry. I don't think I pulled it out.
Yeah, you didn't get out. It's the pan. If you know from last episode thing, I am not good at using it. I use too much of it.
So I just take as much of the dough out as I can. Because I hate washing multiple dishes. And then you're just gonna spray that in there, throw your dough in there. It says to cover all the sides. Just like that.
It looks smaller in the
And then I have the shower caps that are just tossed that fit perfectly over my bowls. Put it on there so it creates a warm environment, and then I'm going to put it in my oven to proof. So once it's in the oven, it proofs until it's double in size, which is about an hour and a half. And now we're going to clean our work surface. Yeah, go ahead and put it in the sink. And that's where we're going to clean this really quick. Let me grab, we have our food safe cleaner. And this is where we're gonna roll out the dough and make the filling to go inside of it. And today it is cinnamon rolls, and my second batch will be the meat and cheese roll-ups and do a garlic butter inside of it instead of cinnamon and sugar butter. And then I'll bake them and cut them, and we'll have pinwheel sandwiches. Kind of like a bow.
Kinda.
Excited to eat it.
There. Now that that is clean,
You're a great just cleaner.
I washed our silicone mat, which is also wet. I guess the one thing I like about the silicone and the stainless steel is it sticks down like a sticker. So you're gonna flour your work surface so the dough doesn't stick to it and it'll be easy to manage.
Or like if you're making star bread or pizza.
And I sprinkle it on there and there's no science behind it.
Just why not?
I just make a mess. It's kitchen confetti.
Love kitchen confetti.
It's like the sawdust when we're doing woodworking. We call it man glitter. Then you come in covered in it. It's man glitter. Okay, so this is your dough after it's done the first proof.
Proof for like an hour?
I proofed it for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So it'll be double its size. You punch it down, which is seriously just
Punching it.
punch it. It'll start
Oh,
to
it
deflate.
just shrieked. Bam.
And then you just pull it out of it.
You can smell it from here.
This recipe calls for, or it not calls for, it will make 9 big cinnamon rolls. And I'm gonna lay it out in a 9x9 pan.
Sadie says she loves the evil apple.
That's Nicole.
That's Nicole.
Sorry. I get them all mixed up.
I got it at Ross. I've seen if it told me how big to make it so I can cheat. So it says 14 by 9 inches. So 14 right there, and then 9 right there. Cool.
That's actually pretty big.
Sure.
Oh yeah, if you are cutting them up, maybe.
So let's roll out our dough. That's 14 and that's 6.
And this makes like 9 cinnamon rolls.
9 oversized cinnamon rolls.
I like 9.
There's no such thing as cinnamon rolls that are too big.
Yeah.
And I try and kind of make it rectangle so I don't get those ugly ends. But this recipe is made for like jumbo cinnamon roll. What did it say by 9? I said 6 at first. It was the dyslexia.
But what?
Having it backwards.
You don't have
Not diagnosed. And then the fun part's next of making the filling.
That was so weird. I
You
thought,
look weird.
don't you? Can't you also do it with a fork?
Well, that's filling on a pie. So
Oh,
now
yeah,
that
it's a pie.
we have that, we are going to make our filling. And for that,
A bunch of brown sugar.
I have the sugar that I have softened somewhere.
Wait, the cream cheese?
No, butter, sorry. So the butter, what you're going to do is you're going to put butter. And I'm going to put gloves on because I hate this part. I hate my hands being covered in it.
Frosting. That just does.
And then you're going to add your sugar and cinnamon to it. And I like using dark brown sugar in here. Connor, I've got it. You're fine. And I never measure for the filling because I use way more sugar because I like it caramelizing out. So we're just gonna guesstimate. But if you want to follow our recipe, it does call for 2/3 cup. That looks good. You
Just
bake
bring
with
it.
your heart, and cinnamon, there's never correct measurement for cinnamon either in our house.
Oh yeah.
But the recipe does call for 1.5 tablespoons of ground cinnamon.
Let's do triple that.
No. And then you just kind of mix it all up. So you make a brown sugar butter crumble basically. And then after I mix it up, you're gonna spread it on the insides of this and do a tight roll.
It smells good. Yes, I can smell through my mouth.
And as you're doing a tight roll, you're going to cut it into 9 pieces and then put it into a prepared 9x9 pan and let it do a second proof. And that second proof is about another hour, and then you can bake them. But I'm not going to stream that because no one has time to sit and watch an oven bake for an hour unless we had those live stream. So it says to do this with a spatula, but I put gloves on and use my hands all the time because it's just easier and I don't want to wash dishes.
Kind of looks like peanut butter.
It's a brown sugar cinnamon spread.
That'd be good on some toast.
What does peanut butter cinnamon roll taste mean?
Yeah, I think a peanut butter and jelly, like that's another thing you can do with this if you want to explore flavors. There is not a wrong way to make a sweet roll.
Marshmallow fluff.
You can do marshmallow fluff and Nutella. You can do the peanut butter and chocolate, peanut butter and jelly. You can do some fruit preserves and cream cheese in here. It's whatever you're filling. This bread is just the base for your creation.
Should we do anything extra or no?
No, I'm making cinnamon rolls.
Okay.
Connor has an innate desire to add chocolate chips.
It's marshmallow fluff, not
Okay,
chocolate.
so now that's like super covered.
Oh, that looks yummy.
I'm gonna change gloves so I can do a tight roll on it. And I'll get my fancy knife out and spray the pan so I can start to plop these in.
And the IT guy and someone else are having a fight in the back.
Someone else? I have a name.
I don't know if you want to, if they want to hear your name or not. If you want them to.
Wow.
Do you want me to say it? There's gonna be a second IT guy.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to roll it into a tight roll.
I'm excited.
I know, I'm trying to think of the best directions to roll. We'll do this way. So it is just rolling it in on itself, and I'll try to be mindful so I'm not blocking with my big head. And you just pull and roll. And that's where you're gonna get the really pretty twists.
This looks oddly satisfying.
Started thinking of Hamilton.
Why?
Yeah.
I never be satisfied. I never be satisfied.
Okay, now you've got your jumbo snake. Bring it back to my measuring. We want 9 of them, about even shape. And those are gonna be thick. I don't do math, so if they're uneven, whatever. IT guy, what should I make them? If I have 16, you divide 9 and 16.
Not super evenly.
What about 17?
1.7.
Which one was that?
That's 60.
Okay.
You got this.
Those look yummy.
Those bits, we're not gonna waste those. You guys will be able to eat them.
Yes.
One.
They already look like, that one already looks like a cinnamon roll.
2, 3. Oops. How many is that? I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, there. So now that all of them are cut, you're gonna put them in your pan that is sprayed with Pam or butter or whatever you want. Yet again, it's your choice of whatever you want. And these guys are pretty thick.
For this recipe, could I just make one giant cinnamon roll?
You can, on a sheet pan, like if you have a tray and you could do thin slices and lay it out, you can make this as a pie crust if you did thin enough and baked it and have it spread. Baking is just another form of art.
I know what I'm bringing for next Thanksgiving dinner.
Cinnamon roll.
Cinnamon.
I made pie / cinnamon roll.
Okay, so now that these are in their home, we're going to do the exact same thing. We are going to cover it and let it proof. But I didn't bring a second cap out. So still the sourdoughs. But then you're just going to cover it like this, and you're going to let it rise for another hour until it's doubled. And then once that's done, I believe, yeah, you bake it for, it's over here, 350 degrees, which is basic for baking anything. And then you want the cinnamon rolls to bake for 20 to 25 minutes. You want to pull them out right as they start turning like a light golden brown, because you don't want to, they'll continue to cook in the pan as you pull them out. And then allow them to cool to 5 to 10 minutes, and then make your icing, which is just softened cream cheese, butter, and powdered sugar, and some vanilla, and just mix it all up and whip it until it's light and fluffy, and top it with it. You can add orange juice to it. You can add orange zest. You can add raspberries, whatever. Ooh, or you can make them breakfast rolls and roll up some bacon or sausage ground up in it, and some cheese. So sausage and cheese, and roll it up, and then let them grow. And then before you bake it, put some gravy over it. So it'd be like biscuits and gravy, but rolls and gravy. I love food. But that's it. We made cinnamon rolls. They'll rise and then bake, and then we took care of our sourdough.
But what do we do these end bits?
So the end bits, I always do for my kids to taste test. And I will just put them into a smaller pan. So sorry for it being loud. We'll do our cute little springform pan. And I'll do them smaller so they bake faster. So nothing goes to waste.
Why do you not want to put the end bits with the non-end bits?
Because they'll cook unevenly. The size difference in those. These ones will cook way faster than those. I have some size differences here, but on the rise it will be okay. They'll all grow together as one. And what I like to do too on my cinnamon rolls, before they bake, as the oven's preheating, I'll dump some heavy cream so it covers them, so they're like taking a milk bath, cream bath. And as it cooks, it soaks into there and makes them super gooey, like Cinnabons. They're delicious. It's a secret. But yeah, I can post a picture of the finished product, because I'm not going to sit here and have them proof and then bake.
Oh.
That's all. Do you think you can manage it next time? Maybe.
Not the cutting part.
So there you go, Nicole. That's how you make cinnamon rolls. Yay! Thank you guys.
Thanks for watching.